just want to welcome us here this morning. My name is Akia Walker. I wear a few different hats here in the community, one of them being board secretary at City Ministry Network, which I am very grateful for. Love working with this organization. Just want to give you a little bit of an overview and purpose of Catalyst. So Catalyst is a place for community conversations and connections. This is a safe place to explore the issues that we face here in our community and to connect with leaders from diverse backgrounds, perspectives, and ideas so that we can converse and maybe find some ways to benefit our community together. Our hope is that you connect with others around you and share your vision and your passion for our community, and that you can begin to build trust with one another, and that you work together to impact our community for the greater good. We are on Facebook and social media, so visit City Ministry Network Facebook page to like and follow us. And please spread the word about Catalyst. This is a space we want to continue to bring more and more leaders in our community to get together and connect. So if you know someone that should be here, have them join us next month. It's the first Thursday of every month. There is also a sign-in sheet on your table. Please fill that out if you haven't already. This is a way to stay connected, learn about what we have up and coming for each Catalyst session. We do also want to highlight our sponsor. We are super grateful for those who help make Catalyst a reality through their generous support. And today our sponsor is Community West Bank. So I'm going to share their mission with you today. Community West Bank's mission is to partner with individuals and businesses of every type and size, providing financial strength, exceptional service, and a deep commitment to our communities. Community West Bank is closely connected with its communities where team members live, work, and raise their families, and wants them to grow stronger and more successful. So a big thank you to Community West Bank for sponsoring our Catalyst session today. All right. So I am going to get us into our first table talk session before we hear from our presenter today. Just want to spend a little bit of time talking with those sitting around you at your table and discuss the question that you are going to see on the screen in just a moment. So for our first question, it's what's the strangest or most unusual job you've ever had? I'm sure some of you in here have some really cool stories to share, so I hope that's a fun one to talk about. And then the second question is, what's one small act of kindness from a stranger that you still remember? So please take some time to talk. If you still need to grab coffee or pastries, feel free to do that during this time as well, and then we'll come back together.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that we got to build some connection through that table talk. I know I had a great conversation, so hope you all did as well. My name is Megan Clifford, and I work with the City of Modesto. I'm a Senior Community Development Program Specialist. Say that 5 times fast. And I get the opportunity to work with nonprofits and community organizations that work to address homelessness. And I get the distinct opportunity to introduce our speaker today, Jason Conway. And I did jot down some notes, but I might stray a little bit from this, so buckle up, Jason. So, as many of us know, Jason is the Chief Executive Officer of Modesto Gospel Mission and has served in this role since 2018. He was actually in the interim role of Chief Executive Officer since 2017. But what's really unique to Jason's story is how he got acquainted with Modesto Gospel Mission. And that was back in 2007 when he was really working to address his experience with homelessness and addiction. And so he engaged with the mission as a client, as a customer to their services. And so he completed the 18-month New Life program, which helps people really get back on their feet. And so he can speak to the experiences and the programs that MGM offers in our community from a really unique lens that I think gets lost in service providers often, right? You know, if you're just delivering the programming and you don't really know that experience, it can kind of shift how you build projects. But because of his lived experience, he's really worked hard to fold in how to operate programs that best serve our community. So after completing the New Life program, Jason served, sorry, we have like a whole like powerhouse team walking in right now or something. Let's give it up for the Hope Works team. Woo! Look at that blue. So after completing the New Life program, Jason joined staff, and through that period, he served in many key operational roles as supervisor, as operations manager, and director of operations. And in that time, I don't know how he had the time, but he did obtain his bachelor's degree in business from Liberty University. Jason is innovative, he's thoughtful, he's curious, and his lived experience, like I mentioned, really brings a unique lens to what homeless services look like in our community. And he's really shaped guiding the mission strategy of culture and Christ-centered services to build it into what it is today. And in this time, he has raised his hand in partnership with United Way and City of Modesto to forage what Hope Works is today. So many of us know last year an agency in the community downtown streets team closed, and there was a lot of interest in how can we continue these services. And Jason raised his hand to say, I want to do it. Let's keep this program running. Let's make some shifts to really make it a strong operational program for our community to best serve community members experiencing homelessness. And that's what he did. And so we're excited to hear from Jason today, to hear a lot about the Hope Works program. And when he's not busy at work, which we know he often is, coming to 7 a.m. meetings, right? He is married and a father to a grade school-aged son, which really fills his cup and really is the reason why he shows up every day to keep doing this work. So please join me in welcoming Jason.
I got to multitask. I got to be able to hold this and then click this at the same time. So thank you guys for having us. We just had some team members back here from the Hope team that have just stopped in. Yep. We got Greg. Greg, if you want to stand up, he's our program manager. Stephen, if you want to raise your hand, he's the one that's driving these individuals around every day. And yeah. And we got our first one team. We have ultimately 5 teams. We'll get into some of the details of the program. But it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be able to share an explosive program on top of everything that we do at the Modesto Gospel Mission. We exist and we have reinvented ourselves in the last 8 years to be a part not only in this community, but be a member and a partner in this community. That goes with the City of Modesto, that goes with the churches, that goes with United Way, all of us together doing a work for the unhoused and those that are in need. We can't do it alone, we have to do it together. And we as a community are the ones that need to push this forward. So it's really amazing to have an opportunity like this present itself to myself that really just needed something else to do. But it was something that really fit what we wanted to do, and that's getting individuals plugged back into the workforce, getting them back into life, and giving them a hand up and not really a hand out. So we will start with Hope Works, Hope in Action, and it's really about the individuals that are behind or in the back of the room here. It's funded through city support, grants, community partnerships, and public donations. So it's really a collaboration. Clients are onboarded via 2 temporary employment agencies, BBSI and Express. And those are real behind the scene champions of this program, and I can get into that detail. Great organizations, great partnerships who wanted to come alongside this program and say, how can we help? And that's exactly what has happened. The Gospel Mission, we direct the work. So when we say we direct the work, we're onboarding them, we're loving them, we're walking through life with them. We have 2 case managers that can't be here today because of family dropping off kids, but they're the ones walking alongside these individuals. Stephen back here, he's more than a driver. He's kind of the one that supervises them out in the field. So when they're out there and they need direction, Stephen's the one doing it. And Greg's like kind of the glue. He's keeping it all together here. And really it's amazing because Zach, on the other hand, he's my program director, so he kind of oversees the whole thing. But it's really been a blessing for me that run multiple programs to have a team that supports HopeWorks, because the system is in place and they've done a fantastic job on operating the system. Who we are. HopeWorks is a community-based workforce development program providing paid transitional work, job readiness, and supportive services for individuals seeking stability and long-term employment. We seek to build pathways to dignity, independence, and stability, also workforce, housing, all of those components. What Megan didn't say is, before us, there was the Downtown Streets team. Megan was actually in charge of that. She might not want to mention that, but I will. And we were able to really steal a lot of their program to make this program. They had already built out a lot of systems, so we were able to kind of tap in and say, hey, give us everything that you have. And they were able to send everything they have. And some of that was like, this is how we deal with conflict. This is what we do here, here, and there. And we were able to onboard that and use that in the current model. So we weren't starting from scratch, but we were starting a little bit from the beginning here. Individuals who are unhoused, these are who we serve. That is a requirement. You do have to be unhoused. Individuals facing employment barriers, people seeking stability, purpose, and confidence, and people looking to change their situation is basically all that's needed. Is just a willingness, and we have a lot of individuals that we discovered that are willing to say, hey, use me. I want to be able to do something different. Every single one of these men and women back here raised their hand to say, please, let me have an opportunity. And that's the great thing. We've seen an explosion of requests to be a part of this program, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing that we were able to have right now 40, right, Greg? 40 individuals in this program. And how many people are on the waiting list? 70. Ooh. Just shows you if you build it, there are people that want to be able to get their life on track. So it's amazing. What the city tasks us to do, basically street, sidewalk, alley, canal bank cleanups, and now weeding. So like we're actually pulling weeds out there. I drove by on McHenry, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and they were out there on McHenry and Morris just pulling weeds all the way down the street. So you will see these individuals, if you haven't already, you will see them out in the community everywhere doing the beautification of our community. Neighborhood cleanups, park and public space cleanups, illegal dumping response, blight reduction, beautification. Graffiti abatement support is coming up, future task, and sharps and needle abatement. All of that is kind of the scope of work, basically. How we work. Our program manager oversees the program, which is Greg. It includes case managers, foreman, driver, that's Stephen back there, health and safety, and the workforce. And that's the really big component of this is the health and safety. You know, if you get anybody who runs a business, and I'll get back to the initial part, it's called workman's comp. Okay, 2018, I'll give you a story. Before the Downtown Streets team hit this community, I had this epiphany to start the Downtown Disciples, is what I was going to call them. They had everything. And they were going to go downtown. We started it actually. They were going to go downtown and start doing litter abatement. And then all of a sudden we had to do it a certain way, and then we got approached by Caltrans. Caltrans. They had this great program, litter abatement, on the freeways and the off-ramps, and they wanted to pay people to do it. And we were like, yeah, we would love to check that out. Contacted my insurance carrier. We can only, the insurance that we have to hold for a service, a direct service community, there's only 2 insurance carriers in this nation that will cover us. There's 2. And I'll tell you, it's Philadelphia and Great America. There's 2 different ones. And then there's workman's comp, and that's on a different beast here. So during COVID, we got dropped with workman's comp. I'll just give you that totality. But when we approached them with these initiatives, off-campus initiatives, they were like, let us know when you would like to start this program so we can drop you. That's basically what they said. I said, oh, never mind, I'm just going to push this to the side. So this is where the temp agencies have came into the equation, and I can't give them enough support because without them, this program couldn't happen. And I think that is to be called out because they're taking on that. They're taking on a lot of the different administration and requirements that we were kind of restrained to, and they're willing to take a chance. But that health and safety, Greg over here, it's imperative that we train these individuals for safety out on the streets, that they're really being attentive to that. And that also transfers to many different jobs and skills out in the community because every agency has to deal with workman's comp. And the biggest thing is to make sure that they're safe. So having the culture of Greg here, again, I'm speaking his song, but having that culture to really enforce and talk about how important it is for safety and training is super important. Our foreman, our driver, transports the team, but he does more than that. He provides field oversight and direction. So participants work in supervised crews with a client crew lead and a buddy system. So they pairs the two, somebody takes the lead, and 2 case managers manage the clients. And they're doing the behind the scenes work. They're doing the budgeting. I know when I first got my first check, as Megan was saying, I born and raised in Modesto, grew up here most of my life. Was across the street. When I first remembered of this church, I was across the street at the Modesto Inn on that stairwell, drinking a 40. And I never really thought about like walking over there, but one of the things that I remember vividly is being able to overcome all of that, but getting my first check. There's just, like, what do you do then? And so the case managers are working with these clients to install systems in their way to say, hey, when you get your first check, you just don't go out and buy a brand new pair of Nikes, or you don't go out and do this. This is what if they do that, like, hey, bringing them in and saying, hey, listen, this is not what you need to do, and this is what we would recommend you guys. So we're just kind of giving them direction and counsel in that, ultimately trying to lead them into full-time employment and housing. That's the 2 goals. Full-time employment, housing, and just loving on them in the way. Program launched January 12th. We found out about it, I think, in September of last year. Went to City Council really rapidly, quickly, and then Christopher, we all began working on kind of the scope of work and how we were going to do it, but we couldn't launch it to January. We launched it January 12th, and then from that point, 10 tons of trash, 20,000 pounds. 262 sharps safely removed, ramped up to 5 active crews, basically. 5 crews at 8, that's 40. 3 clients placed in full-time employment, and we have engaged in 171 people and counting. That's kind of the first quarter results, which is amazing. Like we said, 40 people part of the program, 70 in the wing. And that process is just continuously going through. One day we did a big cleanup. This is one example. We don't have an after, but that all got cleaned up here. Close to 2,000 pounds of trash got removed in that area. This is a before and after. If you see here, before and after, kind of before, after, crew, cleanup. Who wants to see a clean city? I mean, that's what it's all, everybody does. Who wants a safe city? Everybody does. These are the things that we're able to engage and partner with this city, these individuals, and at the same time begin to build life skills. Looking ahead, expanded job placements via agencies, working alongside Amon from Express, saying how can we, as they have inwards to HR departments, how can we work together, collaborate to better build out bridgeways to other places. There is tons of opportunities and employment agencies and employment HR departments that are looking for chances to give people another chance. I know in 18 years that I've been doing this work, one of the things that it says, we have a community that wants to help, and we have employment agencies that want to be able to give back. So if you know of anybody, if you own any businesses, I want to give a plug here, please get with Greg, please get with Zach or myself, and give us some inlays to get these individuals full-time employment. Because how many back here wants full-time employment? Raise your, everybody raise your hand. Yep, there you go. They all do. Because what good does it do, and I'm just going to speak off of the rail here, what good does it do if we place them into a house or an apartment for a year, maybe it's subsidized, and after that year they don't have no sustainability. We have to be able to build sustainability and confidence in these men and women's life. It's happened in my life. It's happened in many lives. We get an opportunity to pour that into these individuals' lives. Increase supportive services, possible employment partnerships. It needs, I will scratch out the van. We do not need any more vans. I say that as a joke. The community went out to get a van, and not only did they get a van, they got 3 vans, which is super cool. So we were able to, in onboarding 3 vans. So we're kind of cool with the van. Work boots is a great tangible need, all different sizes, but work boots, garbage bags, gloves, towable porta potty is on here, but these are some of the needs. Scratch out the van because we do not need that. We'll keep moving on. Here's some impact stories. Michaela, is she Michaela? Yep. You raise her. There she is. Yep. She says, HopeWorks is my first chance for employment. Like that is just, that right there does it right there. That is exactly why HopeWorks exists. And then we have Jason and Sean. And they're a married couple, correct? They're not here, are they? No. Yeah. And it feels really good to help our community and to get back on track. So these 2 individuals are impact stories to that. This is how to get involved. You can scan this. You can go to hopeworksmodesto.org, learn about the program, and then I can field some questions, right, for a few minutes, if you guys have anything. Yes?
So you said 70 people are on the waiting list?
Correct.
What would it take to get those 70 people on the streets working with HopeWorks?
Funding.
Okay.
Yeah, so the logistics is when we started this, we have 1 driver. We are at max capacity for Stephen. He doesn't have the capacity to take. He's dropping off 5 crews staggered in. He's have oversight, so that's the first thing. We do have the van. That's a good thing that we have that in place, but funding. If we get another driver, that allows us probably to get it up closer to 60, 65 on that angle of it. We do have a walking crew, but even that is 1 crew of those 5 is a walking crew. But there's only so much territory that they can cover to be able to, that's how we got the 5th one, but it's basically a funding issue at this point to be able to have that. Yes?
I have a question. How long are people usually in this program?
Good question.
Before they're able to move on?
Yeah, the length of the program is 6 months. Yeah, we would love somebody for 6 months, if not shorter, but 6 months is the length of the program. That gives us plenty of time to build and then get them moved on to the next stage, which is full-time employment. Any other questions? Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go.
How much are they paid?
Minimum wage? They work about 10 to 15 hours a week, basically. And we have funding for up to 65. I do want to say that component. So we have the funding for 65 individuals. We just don't have the logistically built out to be able to say, how do we get another driver, which is a full-time employment, and then we can't do another walking crew. So, but we do have enough funding for a few more on that. You guys are making it too easy. Yes, go ahead.
So if they're unhoused right now, are they at the Gospel Mission, or they can come from anywhere?
Anywhere, yeah. They're coming from all different angles. That's not a requirement that you have to be at the Gospel Mission. Though we have all the supportive services there, but we are doing onboarding through Salvation Army. We did an orientation there, and people are calling in and coming in. So, yes?
Once they've completed your 6-month program, then what is the process towards full-time?
That is the process during the very first day all the way through is to get them full-time employment. So that process is meeting with case management and then working alongside the aisles of them applying for work, and then us referring them to an agency that will hire them full-time. We're not going to abandon anybody after that 6 months. We'll reevaluate it and continue to try to work with that individual. It's not like, hey, we have 6 months here and then you're cut off. We're not going to do that. We're not in the world of doing that. That's just the time frame that we had to allot. And if some reason somebody comes up to 7 months, we're going to see what we can do to get them to that next stage of employment and housing. Yes?
How do you get your funding mainly?
So the funding stream is coming from primarily right now, it's coming from private donations. And then there's a private donor out there, the community, Stanislaus Community Foundation, and the City of Modesto. But the City of Modesto is the driving agent of the funding at this current time. And I think that's Measure H or somewhere.
Yeah, it was a state designation that we had
Yeah.
for.
We do have in works year 2, we have some Caltrans dollars. I'm just being transparent. Caltrans dollars coming in. We'll get some private donations coming in, but it's kind of a hodgepodge of different fundings that are coming in. Yes, Jeff.
How do you determine what areas of our town to beautify?
Good question.
And what organizations and neighborhoods to work with so that is sustainable?
Yeah, good question. So right now, Public Works gives us a map of territories to work through. So we are combing through that, and then we also engage in our own, I guess not our own, but also areas. Once we get that work done, we're constantly working. So it's everywhere in the city of Modesto, in all the areas. You're gonna see this crew or a crew everywhere, on Pellendale, on Sisk, everywhere on Carver, everywhere you can go. On Briggsmore, the whole city of Modesto is gonna get covered in this. Yes.
What about the barriers that they may have that are costly? Because they're not working full-time, and if they can't afford the barriers, is there any funding to help them?
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to housing, we can tap into, CalAIMS. That's a great initiative for housing subsidies. City of Modesto is working to launch a rapid rehousing dollars for the housing component. Outside of that, we're able to really subsidize most of it through supportive services in the community, whether they're at the Salvation Army or the Modesto Gospel Mission. We're able to support them through food, lodging, and housing to make sure that the money that they're getting outside of maybe a storage container and basic needs are able to go into a savings account.
Well, no,
Okay.
I'm kind of speaking like a lot of men and even women are faced with child support and other things that could be higher than their.
Are you guys experiencing that? That's a good question.
No, when they're getting paid, that child support does catch up with.
Does it? Yeah.
And their wages are gone.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, it's just like any other job. Yeah. I mean, I guess you still have those same barriers, and it's really just, I guess, working alongside that client to encourage them to keep moving forward in that, as that responsibility is upon them. It's a great for fathers and mothers. It's a great opportunity to really overcome and begin to be in that area. But that is a good question, Greg.
Yeah, I was just going to say, our case managers, we meet with them 30, 60, and 90 days, and then as they get closer to the program, we actually seek to engage with them on a weekly basis because we're looking at the goals they have. And this is not a place where we want them just to kind of rest and collect a paycheck. We want them to always be working towards something. And there's various goals in our program. Obviously, vehicles are something that many are working for, and some have already obtained, which does give them greater license to find work with the employment agencies a lot. They always want to know who has a vehicle and can move.
That's another barrier. Thank you, Greg, because that is another barrier is transportation. It does limit it. So trying to get these individuals, transportation. Some of them might need to start working on getting their license and being able to drive and all that stuff too. So there are a few barriers, but that's the human ability to overcome barriers is what we really want to be about. It's like you can overcome. And when so many of them have already overcome by just enrolling and then watching them overcome on a single daily basis, overcome these obstacles is super cool because I know it's possible because I've been through every single one of those obstacles myself. And it's really rewarding to look back in my journey to see God move, but to see the initiative of human will to be able to move with God to overcome it. So, yes.
The success of this is really amazing, so congratulations to everyone.
Thank you.
Are other communities looking at this and possibly wanting to reproduce?
Have you heard of anything? I mean, I haven't. We got a small nudge from National Fox at one point, and they never did follow back up, but Fox News caught it from their affiliate, Fox 40, and Fox News give us a call because this was the only model that they found in the country that was doing it. So I can say it's pretty innovative in that part. So yeah, trying to figure out how we can package it would be maybe something that we can look into, but nobody's really kind of reaching out, but really innovative for the city of Modesto and, nonprofit, a United Way coming together, community donors coming together to make it happen. It really is amazing. Mostly when you're paying a minimum wage. That's the one that is kind of the amazing. So most of the fees of the program really is going to the individual. And that's the beauty part of it. Like, we're not getting rich. We are not getting rich off this. But we are not in the business to get rich off of this. And we are in the business to make sure that we can help these individuals in our community. And this is a win-win. This is a win for the city. It's a win for the citizens. It's a win for these individuals. It's a win for everybody, a program like this. And that's what makes it amazing. Yes, George.
Let's say this crew started in January.
Yes.
They have until June, let's say the end of June.
Yes.
And then they're out, and then another crew of 40 comes in?
Well,
And is there drug testing as one obstacle?
Okay, so Greg is chomping at the bit. Go ahead, Greg.
We have a couple temp agencies, and there is one that drug tests, and the other it's not a requirement up front. The case managers and folks in our program, they have experience. They can usually figure out where that might become an issue, and we have the ability to randomly drug test them. We do not want to be putting a person under the influence out on one of our crews, and so that is something. What was the question again, Jason? I wanted to.
Yeah, so no drug test is required. We have a temp agency basically that will take them. They can't come to work under the influence because we'll send them away for the day and tell them to come back. We do have a temp agency that does require a drug test, and so we can kind of move them down that aisle. The other question, what was it, George?
So this crew came in January.
Yeah.
So if you got 6 months, does another crew come in of 40 or?
And this is a kind of a composite crew that is drawn from there's probably we have 4 crews represented here. We just grabbed some folks. Some are gonna go out here later today. But we're backfilling spots on crews when we've got 5 that have been permanently employed right now, and we can pull from our on deck list and fill them. It's not, what am I trying to say here?
I don't know.
Yeah, there are various reasons. We're constantly adding to our crew because sometimes there are some poor decisions that are made that cause the person to be exited from the program. There are some non-negotiables at the mission and anywhere. And oftentimes, this list on our waiting list, we get a phone number and an email and contact, and we reach out to them, and it's hard to find them sometimes. Sometimes that phone has been stolen or lost, and you can't reach them again. So we really ask those people, check in with us on a weekly basis, and we get to see the ones that are the most motivated to get to work. And we have a waiting list, but we end up having to step down sometimes because they engage us and we can't find them again.
Yep. So what we're finding out, what the data, what the individual cohorts are starting to show us is really we're seeing a flow of people from that waiting list come into the 40. We probably, George, will not see a complete a new 40 coming in. They're slowly coming in. They're getting employment. They might be falling off because of life, stuff that happens. So we're just seeing this constant flow of people from that list coming in. So it's not really necessarily like a cohort where they graduate. They will end up graduating. We'll bring them back together to honor them, but we're really seeing a small trickle in. Orientations are happening all the time. So we're constantly doing orientation, safety, and we're onboarding people on a flow every single time. Any other questions? We're wrapping up. Yes.
What are some of your applicant criteria?
Applicant criteria. Being unhoused is one. We go back to one of these slides here. It kind of lists what it is.
You need a phone and a means to contact them. Oftentimes if they say, we'll ask them like, where are you staying? And that kind of helps answer that question. And then do you have a phone?
Here's who we serve. This is basically what we're looking for as far as that goes. And I think, yes, one more question.
So in regards to funding,
Yes.
what would it take financially to, have you done the stats where it costs so much?
Oh
to
yeah,
be able to have
this is $1 million. This is $1 million a year program. So you
If we were wanting to say,
Mhm.
we want to be able to contribute.
yes.
Is it like if $10,000 would be able to service how many employees?
Yeah, so I mean, we can bust those numbers down because out of that, 600,000 is going towards wages for them if we talk about that. So we can probably get those numbers down. It's probably a good exercise to say, what does it take for one client, pack all those numbers together into the very end. Don't have that answer, but for the next leg is having another staff member automatically with all wages, even at a small, it's $40,000, $50,000. So that's what we would need right now. We would need 50 grand to have another driver to be able to expand anymore. So that's just kind of where we're at now. Then you get more, then you have case managers. There's a lot that starts to Frankie, there she is. Frankie's one of our case managers. I mean, she has 20 on yours? Yeah, 22. That gets watered down. The more you put on her, the more watered down that case management gets. So we got to be making sure that they are getting the attention of Frankie and Brandy too. So there's a lot that goes into all of that stuff. So, and one more, then that's it. Mike's going to cut me off, and Marvin's going to say, "Get out of here." Okay, go ahead.
Is it okay to honk when we drive by?
Absolutely. Hopefully nobody has a heart attack like me. And Yeah, but yeah, please acknowledge them. Please acknowledge them. Please let them know. Yeah, and that's important. It's really important that we be able to do that. It's been a blessing, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to hand it back over to who? Anybody? No, is this it? Cool.
Get out of here.
Thank you so much, Jason. That was a great presentation, and this program is just really innovative, and I think that's what the City of Modesto needs, more innovation. That's how we better our community, and it's just really inspiring. So I think everyone deserves a chance to build a meaningful life, and one that's built on sustainability. So as we move on to the rest of our time together, I want to do another table talk after you've heard the inspiring program and message that Jason shared with us this morning. Want to answer the first question with your table. What part of today's presentation challenged or surprised you the most? And second, how can meaningful work influence a person's dignity, identity, sense of belonging, and a journey toward recovery? So make sure everyone has a chance to speak. Sorry, I had to get in frame with the camera. Make sure everyone has a chance to share at your table, but take a few minutes to connect with one another on these two questions.
I am so proud of the Gospel Mission and United Way with Christopher. City of Modesto, I know Megan's there somewhere, but also too with Edgar Garcia's department. I always look at you. I know she walked in, I said, "Oh, hey, remember me?" Yeah, so. And I'm not getting old, by the way. But I'm so proud. There's been a little piece of paper on my desk for a lot of years at my home, and it says this: in most cities, a core lie festers. Some people are more worthy than others. A lie festers in most of our cities, that some people are more worthy than others. And I've struggled with that phrase because candidly that describes me in a lot of ways. And cities and communities are made up of individuals. And so when we all put together, we all define together who is worthy and who is not worthy. And I'm surely one of the greatest sinners of all. Because I can be quick in my humility and my gentleness and my community leadership to go quick to criticism. And it's a core lie that's deep in me, probably not you, but it's a lie that festers in so many of our communities. And to see this example of the men and women and all of you and the leadership teams and all the community that comes together, it says, that our community together is striving to be somebody else and something else, that some people are more worthy than others, that lie goes. People it fears, people it exploits or wants to push outside our cool circle. And we identify who those are in our minds, and we want to kick them out because, of course, our criteria for what is worthy and who is worthy is not, of course, that's the rule. We're it. And, of course, you and I are the standard. I'm the standard. Let me give you a list of, I was with my friend, so I'm getting to this season now where there are fewer and fewer people that I can go to who are older than me that say, give me some wisdom, give me some perspective. That list keeps getting smaller and smaller. But I asked myself the question, and I asked this person the question, heck, I'll say it, Dirk, what's up, Dirk? Dirk, if you want some wisdom over there, he's just way older than me. But I said, has this thing always occurred? Has it always festered? Because I always want to think, well, this is just this generation. Of course, there were other generations that were different, and he just gave me the look like older men do and just say, yes, it's always been there. But I'm going to give you some names. Not going to give you names. I'm going to give you words that some of the generations have used. Dangerous, contagious, criminal, gang-affiliated, illegal, terrorist adjacent, culturally suspicious, a burden, unsafe, morally confusing, economically draining, addicted, unstable, not belonging. The most current words are contaminating, extremist, invasive, unsafe, too different, too costly, too hard to understand. Every generation has these men and women who we decide are unworthy and less than. And I say that to my shame. And I'm putting myself out there just like candidly I always do, for you to consider that maybe all of us are worthy. Some lives are safer to exclude than to love. And that's the judgment that some of us have made. Society calls people undesirable when fear becomes more powerful than love. When fear becomes more powerful than love. But in our city, in our communities, and this has been a prime example, in some of these communities, a core truth also thrives, that to God there are no undesirables. And this is an example where the government and private sector is saying there are no undesirables in our community. And I'm so proud of this group. And candidly, whenever I talk about City Ministry Network and the men and women that are a part to come at least to Catalyst, we can say there are no undesirables. There are no undesirables. We belong to each other. I'm going to say it to you again, that we belong to each other. And the minute you forget, and I forget, that we belong to each other, I'm on my way to erosion and to losing myself. And a measure of the humanity of a city's citizens is founded on that statement. The humanity of a city's citizens is founded on that statement, is that we belong to each other. We belong to each other. And heaven has never recognized the category of unworthy. And I would continue to pray and hope that and work toward, in our communities, there are no unworthies. There are no less thans. That we belong to each other. That we belong to each other. And I want to thank Jason, his team, the men and women back here who have the courage to face their mess, because I found my mess has now become my message of life. So they'll all come together for you and make sense. Megan, Edgar's been bothering me right here with a text right now.
He just had a baby.
He just had a baby boy, Emmanuel. Yep, he just sent me a gorgeous picture. But all of you here. And you all play a part, so I want to encourage you, if the thoughts come to your mind to how do I invest? And Sandy, Mike and Sandy are probably going to give, $10,000 to
Through CMN.
through CMN. Oh, that's good. Got it. And I'll say this before we get to announcements, because I'm going to give you time with them. Each one of us have a part to play. I was over here I was teasing about Tri-Counties Banks. We all have a part to play. We all have a part to play. So you figure out what your part is and get to it. Now, most of us in here are leaders of leaders. So you might not be the body that goes and does a particular thing, but you might know somebody or in your circle of influence. So I want to encourage you to be thinking about that. Because in every society that lie festers, that there are people less than and unworthy. And this morning has been an incredible example of, in this community, we're going to deal with that crappy lie. Everybody's worthy, and we all belong to each other. Because in heaven, there's no such thing as somebody less than. Let me give you some announcements. Are we all good? Somebody say, just give me an amen or what's up. Or yeah, that's right. In the neighborhood, it was like, that's right. So that's right. Okay, let me give you some. We're going to need you. So next month, we've been quietly, I don't know about quietly, but we've been Bridge Builder Award winners. So we want to next month honor some of you in the community, some of you or some others who have modeled for us being a community bridge builder in our county. So we've already been getting votes in, and then there's the QR code. I'm going to be quiet for a minute. If you could just take this and just put a name in there. The list is getting strong, so I really don't know who is on the list, other than there's quite a few of them, and I don't know what the numbers are. But I want to encourage you to, right now, just vote. Just make sure you vote. And just type a name in there. Somebody that stands out to you. And the only criteria is they've been modeling and practicing being a community bridge builder, bringing together all these communities to serve. By the way, Brandy, thank you for your work too. I want to say your name too. All set? Everybody have it? Okay. David, next, can you give me That's it? No more slides? Oh my gosh. I guess summer's coming. Nobody wants to do anything now. Get this done, get the kids out of school and get them out of here. So, well, thank you for today and the courage. I'm going to be quiet here and let you talk as our practice. I'm going to pray. Just thank the Lord for our time together and for you to get out of bed. I know it's hard sometimes. Especially the youngsters are telling me it's too early. Okay. No. They want to make $1 million, but they won't get out of bed. But that's a whole nother story. That's just the teenagers. That's the teenagers. On YouTube, they're all influencers. They all get paid. Listen, I'm digressing. I'm stealing your time. So let me be quiet and pray. Lord, thanks for the time. Lord, thank you that all of us are worthy, and in your kingdom there's no such thing as a less than. And Lord, these men and women that are in this room, I know their hearts and I know their work, and they are working hard together. I do thank you too for Salvation Army, for all that the work they do as well with the unhoused and those that are right now just struggling in a season of life. I know when I was struggling, I needed people to come around me, to care for me and to deal with me in all kinds of different ways. I pray today's been an encouragement, a giver of courage for all of us and for other loved ones. Maybe there's somebody in here who has a child or a relative or a loved one who is just struggling with life. I pray today to be an encouragement. Thanks for what you're doing in us. Christopher, Jason, all the team that's here. Thank you for Megan. In my Lord's name I pray. Amen.